Thank you, Chairman Smith, Senator. Good to see all of you. And thank you for doing this, particularly today, where the summit is taking place in China. I think this is just such an incredibly timely thing. And while these are hearings and things that you're familiar with and have been familiar with for years, the public is not familiar with these topics, unfortunately. In my experience in social movements, you've got to really rub the public's face in this stuff for them to get it. And once they do, then they'll kind of, okay, what should we do? And thank you for rubbing people's face in this stuff that you've known about and heard about for 20, 30 years, as have I. Even just yesterday, I was with Marigold Tursun. She's featured in our book, China's War on Faith, and she's a Uyghur. She was told finally before, this is toward the very end of her incarceration, okay, you can pick the way you die. We'll either shoot you 3 times, 3 bullets, or you can sign your life and your organs away to us. Now, if you pick the 3 bullets, we're going to charge you for each of these bullets a very large sum of money, and you can do it for free this other way. And you go, how cynical can a group of people be? This is her speaking yesterday about the technique that was used. Our children who were born in Egypt ultimately actually were the tool that got her out. Disfavored religious communities are particularly targeted by the perpetrators of forced organ harvesting schemes. Falun Gong practitioners, which we've heard about, systematically cataloged based on biometric markers and then murdered for their organs. Uyghur Muslims, and you've heard this before, their organs harvested and marketed to wealthy Middle Easterners as halal, and in an unimaginably cynical way doing this. And I don't like even repeating these because these charges are so horrific that they are virtually, people they have a hard time in their mind even getting their mind around it. But this is happening and has been happening and continues to happen, and it's an evil regime that perpetrates it. We have here today, and Mr. Chairman, if I could take just a moment to introduce, you've got here the gentleman Peter Xu. You may remember his name. You advocated for him, as I did a number of years ago, spent 5 different times in Chinese prison. He's been out here helping promote the book. He was considered the Billy Graham of China. They nearly killed him when they took him down he put him in a cross formation until he nearly died. Then they took him down. They said to him, okay, sign the confession that God's a hoax, Jesus doesn't exist. And he looks at the warden and he says, thank you for allowing me to participate in the sufferings of Christ. Just an amazing testimony of an individual who is here, and I've got to recognize Peter Xu. And then the other person that's Bob Fu is hosting these gentlemen. You know Bob, but Pastor Pan of the Mayflower Church that got all 64 members of theirs out in a daring episode that I believe should be a Hollywood movie is here with us as well. Pastor Pan, wonderful men. They bear witness, and as they bear witness, they get family members persecuted back home. These are not free shots that people get to take. They get hit. Pastor Pan has relatives still in China being threatened. And I would ask our State Department to allow them to come if they're allowed out of China. Allow them to come here to the United States. Here's a brave man being willing to speak out, and the family members back home are still persecuted. And I hear this constantly from members of this persecuted community, of the various religious persecuted communities. You have experts that know more of the specifics of it. I want to talk mostly about policy. Number one, the United States should lead a global coalition of governments, academics, medical, financial institutions, and religious groups to openly condemn forced organ harvesting and take concrete steps to end the international complicity in this practice. We need a big coalition to come together and to say, this is horrific, it deserves to be no place in a modern world, and we should condemn it. The White House or Congress should host a global summit of religious, democratic, and political leaders calling for religious freedom for everyone everywhere, including in China. This is a hallmark issue for us, and on our 250th birthday, this founding of the country is based the early settlers primarily on seeking religious freedom. And it's still a hallmark human right of the soul, the right that's closest to who we are as a being, and these are the people the most persecuted. It would help, and it would help them substantially. We ask President Trump to raise with Xi Jinping the release of Pastor Ezra Jin, and he's said that he's going to seek that release. Jimmy Lai, and I would add, the 9 Catholic bishops currently in detention in China that we don't know their whereabouts. 9 Catholic bishops, and we don't know where they are. They're incarcerated. And I would ask as well that Pope Leo would criticize China publicly for the ongoing genocides in that country of the Muslim Uyghurs, of Falun Gong, of the Tibetan Buddhists, and seek the release of these 9 Catholic bishops that are detained in China. And, Mr. Chairman, I've got another set of additional recommendations that I want to submit for the record, but one of them, we host the G20 summit this year. We should have in that a major section on religious freedom. As we bring these world leaders of the top countries here, we should be talking about religious freedom and condemning publicly forced organ harvesting at that event. This would be something that Dr. Gutman points out, the embarrassment factor. It's a true issue, and you and I both know it. You've got to raise the profile of these issues to the point that governments are embarrassed before something happens. We should do that at the G20 summit as well. And then finally, our media, Hollywood, academia, big business must start shining a light on these horrific practices being conducted by the Chinese government and no longer look the other way. We cannot look the other way. Now, we've got such an integrated economy with China, and I hope and pray we're in the process of breaking that apart and breaking our supply chains and moving it to other places. And I'm seeing positive trends on foreign direct investment in China going down substantially, a lot of that coming to the United States and other places going up, which is favorable towards us. That's the right trend. It's going to take several years to disentangle these two economies, but we really have got to be clear-minded that we have to move this way. This is a communist regime in China that seeks our removal from the leadership on the world stage. And whichever one of these systems, and I contend that, and I'm going to end with this point, that we're in a clash of civilizations now. And one point of that is the communist group and authoritarians that look at the world and individuals as tools to be controlled or economic entities alone. And they are pushing aggressively and attacking us today. And on the other side is Western civilization. It's the United States leading a Western civilization that's built on a Judeo-Christian ethic, that everybody is created in the image of God. They are entitled to incredible dignity. They have inherent worth of who they are, and they have rights by virtue of who they are as an individual. They have rights. These two systems are in conflict and clashing. And I think we've just got to start being much more clear-eyed about what the stakes are, because whichever of these systems wins will direct how societies move over the rest of this century. And we're in this fight, and we're in it now. And we've got to sound the alarm to the public and move forward aggressively to win this fight. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.